currently wiring up a power bank for my camper. Well guys, I was just thinking while I'm wrapping this up, the video you're about to watch is a video based on my experiences only. I am not a licensed auto elec, nor do I have qualifications to be one, so follow at your own risk. I tested this concept last trip and it worked perfectly. I understand there's going to be efficiency losses involved here, but this works really good for my setup. I initially thought about getting another 100 amp hour of storage in the camper, but instead I decided to put another 100 amp hour or 105 amp hour lithium, an iTech 120X into a battery box, and I'm going to charge this box using an IDC25 projector. Now this is a non-lithium version, and yes, these do charge, these lithium batteries, just fine. But iTech World will even warrant the charge of these to those batteries. One of their things about their batteries is that you can basically charge their lithium batteries with your standard DC-DC. Most battery chargers are covered. You can speak with them about that directly if you're concerned at all, but I've been doing it, no worries. Now I've got one of these IDC25s already in here, and I've just been installing some 6-gauge wiring, just fused it off. I haven't yet hooked it up because I'm just making a few small last minute changes. That's where it's going to run in. Nice thick cabling, and the battery box is just going to get stored somewhere on the back seat down here. So when I'm out full driving or touring and I've left the camper back at camp, that battery will get charged. Well, that one there will get charged. And then when I get back to camp, I'll probably come along to here, and obviously it's just an example, but I might look at my batteries and go, hey, my batteries are at 80%, like just as an example. Currently my solar is bringing in 42 watts, so it is charging your battery at 2.7 amps. So I'm not down on battery, but you can see here it's currently going down. Now in this camper I have two iTech World 120Xs, one under here and one under here under another panel. So I've got about 210 amp hours of power here. But unfortunately, I've only got a solar panel on the roof that's 150 watts, and even on the best perfect day, I may only get maybe a couple of 100 watt hours at best, and that assumes the sun's in the right spot, the sky's clear, etc, etc. You know how solar works. It's you kind of want to have a lot of solar to kind of charge your batteries. Now I don't really have that option. I don't have a lot of real estate on the roof for this. I'm weight conscious. I do have an electric blanket that I can plug in, so if I really wanted to and I was at camp, I could go and open up this compartment here and pull out this 200 watt blanket and chuck it out to assist charging. The track trailer has provisions to just plug in another solar system that joins up with the existing system, but instead I've decided to go this method, and that is basically putting this battery in the car, charge it while I'm out forward driving, and when I get back to camp it'll be full. I just go ahead and plug it in just like a normal power bank. I mean, for your phone, imagine this is just an electronic device. It's just a big power bank, and then I can come over to here and you'll see here now I've got charge input from the car and charge input from the solar. Now the car is actually the battery bank out the front. It thinks it's a car because it's simulating an alternator input, and you can see here now I'm currently drawing 6 amps from the DC to DC charger, 42 watts of that solar, but you can see here it's sharing the draw inputs from the power bank that I've put out the front and solar to keep my battery charged. And you can see here how it's charging the battery. 2.2 amps going to the battery, 4.2 amps going to my loads. I've currently got my rack gear running, the inverter's running, here and all my fridges and heating, which is obviously off, but it's still running. And that's what's charging. So if this was at like 80%, this would almost charge full just from that power bank alone. At a 210 amp hours, I might use 50 overnight, maybe even more. This is a 105 amp hour lithium battery. I will get probably about comfortably 80 amp hours of charge out of this into there, because there is such thing as efficiency losses. I don't know exactly how much that is. I'm not an expert in this. I just do this kind of just a hobby. But this solves my problem with being able to charge or bring power back to camp after I've been out all day. The alternator is providing free output, so why not collect it in a battery, then bring it back to camp and hook it up. This is now charging my portable battery bank here. This would normally be sitting in the back seat though. I'm just showing you this in the front because I haven't finished the wiring run yet. But so while I'm forward driving, this is basically charging away. I'll get back to camp and I'll be like, okay, hey, turn off the car, and I want to now transfer the power that I've collected during my forward drive day out in this battery and stick it into the camper. All right, so basically, I'll try and explain this as simple as possible. Currently, the battery is 99%, and our current charging sources are solar. See how that's green? If we have a look over to here, this tells us we've got power charging from solar only, nothing from the car, and nothing from AC power. Now, it's a bad example because this is 99% full, but this should still work. I can basically say, okay, currently the battery is drawing 2.2 amps. 1.5 amps is coming from solar, and the camp is basically drawing 3.8 amps currently. Now, let's imagine for a second this was more like 80%, and solar didn't really charge my 2 lithium batteries and the camper up fully. I could basically go, okay, I'll hook up the lithium battery to the input of what would normally connect into the car's Anderson, like so. And I would go back to the camper, and you'll be surprised to learn now the camper's thinking that the battery I've just connected is the car. It has a higher voltage, and because it's lithium, and if you look here now, it's basically saying, okay, we've got a vehicle source of power. Let's charge and convert that power and charge the onboard lithium. So now I'm drawing 22 amps from the DC-DC. 1 or 2 amps is coming from the solar, as you can see there. And the rest of it's coming from the vehicle, or the battery box in this case. 17.6 amps is going to battery, and 3.5 amps is going to accessories that are currently running, like my inverter and such. Now, you're probably wondering why it's only saying, hey, I'm only charging 17 or 18 amps. Now, this would normally be a lot higher. It's because the battery is almost at 100%. It's almost fully charged. The DC-DC charge is just pumping a little bit less of amps to the battery because it's almost full. If this battery was actually, in fact, 70 or 80%, this would be very close to 30 amps right now. Because the lithium battery supports a really high output of power in terms of amperage, it can do it. I think this is safe to 150 amps continuous. I actually tested this setup initially with my other onboard dual battery system. The only problem with my onboard ones is my onboard batteries are a lot smaller. I wanted a light battery. The 24 amp hour one was how I initially did this testing. I ramped down the amount of amps I wanted the DC-DC controller to draw, and I tried it from here at 15 amps and it did it fine. And that's how I came to the concept of using this battery pack, which is great because now I've got a way to collect power when I'm out forward driving if I've left the camper back at a campground and come back and then put it back into the van for the night's use. I did think about putting 100 amp hour here, and down in the back, maybe 2 in the back, but I actually think this is a better solution. 210 on board in total, 2 times 105 amp hour batteries, and a portable battery bank for the camper, which I can carry in the car and charge. Better yet, it also doubles as a battery bank I can take down to the beach, power the fridge, or do anything. So if I know I'm going away for a few days or a long trip, and I know I might leave the camper behind and I want to be able to charge it in case there's not enough solar, like it's winter currently, I can just take the battery box, charge it up while I'm driving, free power from the alternator, bring it back to camp and charge up the camper. So if you want to do something like this for yourself, or you're just looking to upgrade your standard AGM batteries to perhaps a lithium battery like that, head over to itechworld.com, use code AllTerrainAction for a discount. And right now, as we speak, it is end of financial year sales, so I don't know if our code stacks with their discounts, but go check out their site. They've got up to 85% off on batteries, chargers, the whole lot, anything you really need to get battery setups out at camp, or even like boats or hobby off-grid setups. And enjoy trustworthy brand that I've used for 2 years now. I couldn't be happier. My biggest thing about the iTech World stuff is that they just work off any DC-DC charger. They don't have to be a lithium charger. So if you have a camper that already has an AGM in it, you can just go buy one of these batteries and swap them straight over and it'll just work. They're about 1/3 of the weight, and you can actually use almost 100% of the battery power that's available in the batteries, unlike AGMs where you can only use generally 50%. I err on the side of caution. I use about 80 to 90% of the capacity on the lithiums, but people use 100 and that's no issue. Batteries are designed to be used, so use them. I'm sure if I ever need to drain my batteries right down, I'll just do it because I'll probably need it. But using this portable battery bank setup, shouldn't need to do that. I left the car running for about 20 minutes because I actually thought that a pretty good way to show you guys, because the battery was almost full. I wanted to show you what happens. But it's still charging. So basically, people's worry is that the problem with AGM DC chargers on lithium batteries is they won't charge them to full. Now you can see here how charging is still flashing. This is a good indicator that it's actually, this battery is actually getting a good charge. This lithium battery is getting a charge. 13.7, right? But see how that just dropped down to 13.5? That, yep, it did exactly what I wanted to do. So you see how the charging light's gone off? I don't know if you can see that. It's actually detected that the battery is pretty much full. Now, the non-lithium DC chargers will charge these to about 95, 96%, and then trickle charge them to full after that, or try to. But you can see how it's 13.4 now. Well, you probably can't actually see that, but it's 13.4, and the DC chargers actually just said, yep, nah, you're full, so stop charging. That's a really good sign. And that the problem would normally be is that this would actually stop charging and this would have dropped back way back before 13.7. So it's done a good job. It actually shows you that the non-lithium chargers do actually charge iTech World batteries.